Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is January 21st of 2021. I think you're going to see this video is a little bit better. If you watched the last two videos, I was using I still am, the Elgato HD60S card. So I'm using my Panasonic G7 camera. It's plugged into the HD60S card, and that is plugged into, USB into my computer, and this gives me the option of using this. So I've disconnected my Logitech USB webcam, but I'm thinking probably it'd be a good idea to plug it back in and have both of them available. The Logitech I could use for a snapshot or different things like that. So I'm thinking of hooking it back up. But want to thank, let's see, I think he left it. Anyway, I want to thank the person who left a comment with some recommendations on the camera, on the settings. It's because I went through those and I'm not sure which one corrected the problem, but what it was doing was like pulsating in and out occasionally with the light. Part of it might have been that I have a light back here and it was in the in the background. That probably didn't help. I haven't hooked this up yet. By the way, I forgot to mention on about this, that I am the devil. I forgot to mention this thing gets really hot, when you have it going for a while. I saw on Amazon a big LED light on a light stand, about $80 or $90. I might put that on my list to get one of these days because I think it'd be really good for in the behind and then aimed at the ceiling, to bounce light that way. Although I do have 3 or 4 light stands, and I've got some giant bulbs. So I don't know. By the way, let's see here. Let's see. Wait a minute. Sort by. Save. Anyway. I see on. I wonder if that's me. I see the volume. I'm seeing the volume thing on my camera. I'm not sure if that's showing up in the video for you all or not. I turned that off. I might have ended up turning it back on. I'm really glad that I'm using my Panasonic G7 camera because I really wanted that, and I had to save up and get it. It was a big expense, and then by the time I got it, physically I'm not able to get out get out and around very much unless I take a porty potty with me or something. And then cell phones have gotten so much better. I mean, the cameras on them. And since also I don't have a car, when I had a car, I'd have a camera bag in my car, and I could, stop occasionally and see something was I thought worth taking a picture or whatever, but now I don't have a car, so, and of course we have the virus thing, but without a car, then you're kind of, but with the cell phone, you always have it with you, and they're really, really damn good cameras. As you know, I'm using the Motorola, or the Moto G stylus, and I mentioned this a couple times. I just bought it maybe, I don't know, a month ago, but I got it for $100. But Motorola just came out with their 4 cameras from last year in the economy line or whatever, and they've come out with, of course, the Motorola G stylus 2021 version. I have the 2020 version. I looked. I didn't see that much of a big difference. So maybe I can control myself. I do like to buy stuff. I think a lot of us do. I think a lot of people into tech, of course, I've known a lot of people that are really, they buy the right item and they take care of it, and they don't, but I'm not sure why I turned out, a lot of Americans have turned out, and maybe worldwide, and, the Western nations, or the places where people do have some extra money sometimes. But I do like to buy stuff. Makes me feel good. And so that's not good, though, for the bank account and stuff. I've given a bunch of these things away, or not this specific, these chargers with, you also have a light, and stuff. And, a battery, there's a battery in there, I forget, 3,000 or 4,000. Well, I can see, but it doesn't matter. Right now, that close by, I have 2 of these, and I keep them charged up. This is a 10,000 milliamp. And let me turn the light on here. This is a 15,000. This has solar cells, by the way, on it, and I don't know. I love solar cells. Always have. Remember at Radio Shack being able to, buy a little tiny one with the little pigtails on it, and I'd hook it up to stuff and all that kind of, But and I did have I've had several, but I did have a solar panel for the window over here, and it went down into a box, and then a couple of LED lights plugged into that box, and if we lost power, those LED lights came on and everything like that. I gave that to my daughter and son-in-law visited from Washington, D.C., and I gave that to them. And also I gave my daughter another lamp or something or other that worked. And my daughter works in an office where they're very trying to save energy and save the world and do all that kind of stuff. So the building is set up where if nobody's in the room, the lights go out. And, she'll be in her office working, and I guess she didn't move or something for a little bit, and the lights would go out. So that she had that, she told me, she said that thing that I gave, not the one, the big one that went, but a small thing, said worked out great. She put it on her desk so that, but I love stuff like this. Okay, I've got these 2. I've given a bunch of these things away because I did have at one time over 1,000 reviews on Amazon, and I think most of them had a video with them. And I did a good, I've mentioned this before, I would update them, for like a scale. I did a review of a scale because I was sent it to review. And I let everybody know that I was sent the thing to review, and the other things too, all of them. In fact, you're required by law to do that. And like just as an example for the scale, I reviewed it fairly, and then I would go back when it needed it, when I had to put a new battery in it, when the I think a 9-volt battery, when it would die after a year or two. I would go back to the review that I'd done, and I would update the review and put, on such and such, so it was like, I would update it and everything. Anyway, without any notice, that's what bugs me about it. All of a sudden, somebody said, all your reviews are gone. And I went over, and sure enough, all my reviews were gone. Of course, I got no notification. What I would have really liked is, if they're going to be that way, if they had just contacted me and said, you can download all these by such and such a date or something, I would have downloaded them and put them somehow onto YouTube. I mean, I'd know how to put them on there, but I don't know how I would have done it, one big mass, or how I would have, edited them. But I would have liked that to been over it, because I put a lot of work into that. But I cannot review anything now for Amazon. I purchased, this is going to come here today. And if it's good or bad, I think it'll be good. It's got 5 stars, well, 4.5, I guess. But, I can't, they don't allow me when I go and try to, if I go and try to review an item, can't do it. So this is a 30,000 milliamp. We don't lose power much anymore. Over the year, well, I'm going to be 80 here in a couple months. I lived one time in a, more than one time, but I lived in a mobile home park. It was a nice one for a mobile home park. But it just worked out that this mobile home park, the main street that ran through it, if you were on this side over here, you got your electricity from the country, from not Harrisonville, but someplace closer. That's where you got your power, on that side of the place. If you were on the other side of the place, you got your power from, basically from Kansas City, Missouri. And I actually ended up living on both sides. When I was on this side over here, where I was getting from the country, it went out all the time. Storm, out. The other side, very rarely went out. One time, when I was living on the countryside over there, I don't know, there was a thermostat there. And I don't know what it was. We'd lost power. I'm not sure. I guess it came back on. Can't remember now. But I was standing there, and I had my hand up on the thermostat or something like that. And then all of a sudden, I was like, what? That thing was like melting. The power, I guess, had come back on, or maybe the power blew through there, and that was the end of that thermostat. But when I went for my 2-week vacation a few years ago to Washington, D.C., I took, I'm not sure which ones. Like I said, I had a bunch of these things, sent to me. And I gave a bunch of these things away. I gave, because when I reviewed them, that's the thing too. I mean, I wasn't trying to, I reviewed things, here's one. I don't know how many of these lights that I got for review, and I reviewed them fairly. And I keep saying it because that's, and I had a feeling that was going to happen. Like I said, I did over 1,000 reviews. Anyway, I gave a lot of these things away, and to people that live, around here, whatever. Gave away automatic feeding machine, or for pets. I was sent that to review. But the way I ended up starting to do reviews on YouTube was, or not YouTube, on Amazon. I've got type 2 diabetes, like I think everybody in the United States does, it seems like. God. So forth and so on. My legs and my feet, are swollen and look totally gross. Hopefully you're never going to see them on camera, unless it's some type of a fluke. And the doctor recommended compression hose or socks or whatever on the feet. So I went and purchased some from Amazon, and that helped. And so then I posted a review. I don't think I'd done any reviews. Maybe I'd done something once or twice, but I posted a review of those socks, and now that I purchased those, And the company then contacted me and said, "Thank you very much for the the review, and tell us what size you are." And they sent me, I don't know, 3 pair or something like that. So then I started doing reviews, and people started then contacting me. And but what happened was, I could just tell. I'm guessing this is the way it works over in China. Is people are working for these sweat houses or whatever, and there's all these places over there manufacturing everything. Everything we get, everything in Walmart is made in China. That's why we should be friends with China. Let's not be enemies with them. Everything we have, everything we like, computers, all those they all come from China, basically. But these young people would contact me. Somehow my name got on a list. I think, well, that's another thing. People are over there looking for ways to make money, and I think somebody must have come up with a list of people, and this must have been a thing in China, because I started getting these things. You are the #1 reviewer on Amazon, and would you please review my product? And I wasn't the #1. I forget at the time where I ranked. You could see what the number was. I was not the #1. I wasn't in the top 100. I wasn't in the top 500. I wasn't in the top 1,000. But over there, somebody must have been looking for a way to make money. And they went through and pulled up a list, and my name ended, I don't know where it ended on the list, but then that list probably maybe was sold online or something, maybe for 25 cents or $1 or something. And these young people over there were convinced by the Chinese companies, because there's all those places over there making everything. Hey, you can make money by selling, buy stuff from us and sell it in the United States on Amazon, and you will get rich. So these people, these young people, I could tell, they would say, "Please, would you do a review of my product, this product for me, and I will send you a free one," So depending on what the product was. I mean, I had people, they contacted me for, I don't know, panties and everything, everything else, but the stuff that I was interested in. But I think I have 2 of these left for myself. I've given I don't know how many away. I'm not doing reviews anymore since I can't do since I still have them. Every day there'd be 3 or 4 messages in my email coming in saying what I review something. And sometimes I don't contact them back. Sometimes I say I can't do reviews, And but I think what happened in China was, anyway, these young people, I could tell, they were young people. Oh, would you, help, help us or whatever. So also they were convinced. You could tell. I mean, I couldn't tell. All of them weren't. Some of them, the messages were. I almost need a translator, But I could tell that they thought that if they did not get 5 stars, if somebody gave them 4 stars, they were convinced that they would be wiped out and they would have to commit suicide or something. I mean, So what I did was, sometimes when a product was sent to me, that I did honest reviews, but if a product came and it wasn't 5 stars, I would contact. It wasn't going to be 5 stars. I would contact them and say, hey, blah 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 blah. I cannot give this 5 stars. I mean, there was a few times the products was like, this is crap, and I cannot give it 5 stars. Do you want me to go ahead and rate it, or would you rather me, just forget it? And they said, oh, forget it. I don't think any of them ever said, yeah, go ahead and give me 4 stars, or, something like that. They were all convinced. So anyway, I blogged about that, or maybe I'm not sure if it was in my blog, written blog, or if it was on YouTube. I know I commented on YouTube at some point, and several of you, were saying several people said in the comments, well, what you're doing is just terrible. And I said, I'm not, I'm not rating something that isn't any good. I'm not saying it is good. I'm just saying that when I get a product that is really bad, I contact the person. I don't give whatever, and they're, oh no, that's dishonest. I said, I don't think it is. And it wasn't long after that. Now, of course, Amazon has, the machinery to go through, and they can, I'm sure, it does this computer scanning, and I'm sure it comes up with, oh, this person here, he gives, 98% of everybody gets 5 stars, and according to their thing, well, people should, it should be like only 70% of people should get 5 stars or whatever. So it may have popped up that way, but I also have a feeling that somebody, reported me, so because it wasn't long after that I could no longer do reviews. But I was getting tired of giving this stuff away. I was a river unto my people. But anyway, I've got this device coming. Looked pretty good. 30,000, and a flashlight. And in the other room, I've got like some medical supplies there. I mean, I don't have a defibrillator or anything, but I've got some stuff on a shelf in there. And then I've got a whole bunch of a battery charger in there, a couple battery chargers in there. And I just brought these in from that shelf. And but this one, I think I may actually, like when I went to when I was in the hospital, I took along when I went to Washington D.C. Flying there, I had 2 or 3 battery packs, which I don't think I used. I didn't, but on the airline, sitting next to a guy, I wasn't trying to, I wasn't doing any computing on the airline or anything like that. But a guy next to me, he was watching a movie or something rather than I could see. I kind of felt like I shouldn't be looking, but it's right in my, right there. I mean, it wasn't anything wrong with what he was watching, but I saw his battery was going down. I said, "Hey, you can use this," and he used that, and then gave it back when we got to the destination or whatever. So I've carried several of these things around in like camera bag or something or other. I don't think I've ever used. There again, my daughter in Washington, D.C., I gave her at least one or two of these, something like this, and she, before this virus thing, was traveling all the time all over the United States. I think she even went to Puerto Rico and Canada and I think a few places like that. And she's a union organizer. I know there's some of you out there, oh my God, one of those terrible left-wing, people, but so I've got a new one coming. Looks nice. So we'll see. Let's see here. I can't remember. I think when I was in the hospital, I had the charger, and so I don't think I had to use a battery pack. I had them with me, a couple, but by the way, that's kind of funny. I should show it to you, except I can't get up. I don't have any pants. I know I could turn the camera the other way. But when I went to Washington, D.C., I had this bag, sort of a camera bag. It looked like it was leather. It looked pretty neat. When I got to Washington, D.C. and was, getting ready to leave, one of the passengers said, "Are you a professional photographer?" I said, "No." He said, "Oh, the bag." He said, "That's a really nice bag." I said, "Yeah, it is." Of course, I never go over, but brought it back and put it in my closet, and all the leather stuff. I mean, it looks. Nobody is going to say anything nice about this bag now, but my other daughter, the one that lives, these are grown daughters, of course, one that lives here, before the virus, she was at a casino gambling, and she won a nice little, money. So they have some shops there. They have some. Well, I went with her a few times. They had a buffet, that gigantic buffet place, and I love buffets, but I can't eat a lot for some reason. Never could at one time, and so I have never gone to a buffet ever, and been able to go up to the dessert bar because I'm always full and stuff like that. But anyway, she was there. I think she was there by herself, and she came and back. I never said anything about a bag or anything like that, but she brought me. Anyway, those shops there are really expensive. I guess they have a lot of people like that maybe win some money and then walk by and so I looked in the window or whatever, and there was a really, really nice, I guess, leather bag. I could show that to you sometime if you want to see it. I haven't used it. I have no occasion to use the thing, but bought me a really nice leather bag. I don't know what it cost, but I think it cost a pretty penny. So anyway, this will be coming today. What I'm trying to do is make sure when you do lose power or something that, I should show that to you. She also, we lost power one time, and she has, let's see, where is it? Oh, I think it's in the other room. one of these power packs. I think they cost like, you know, $300 or whatever, and you can plug in it. You know, AC has some AC plugs. It's not a generator. I mean, you know, it's not gasoline powered or anything. It's just a battery pack, and it's got all kinds of things. She brought. We lost power. Well, we all lost power. She lost power too. But she brought over for us. About the time she got it over here, you know, the power kicked back on, and she said, "Oh, just just leave it here." And I said, "No, we don't. You know." But she wouldn't take it back, so I've still got that, and it's in there. Hopefully, it's charged up. Although, like, I don't have room for stuff in here. That's one reason I was giving stuff away. Not just that I'm a saint, to people, but uh, uh, I just don't have any room here for much stuff. This is an apartment, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Uh, we've all got computers going all the time, all 3 of us. Anyway, I told her, I said, Hillary, I don't have any room for them. Where am I going to put it? Oh, keep it. And I said, well, why don't you keep it and we'll call you up now. Yeah. And it wasn't long after that. It got knocked off or something. And the power plug that goes in the back is, it broke. And now, and I don't see any way to get into it to secure that thing. And, it still works, but it's a problem. And she came over and I said, Hillary, why don't you take this, because I knocked it off and I broke this thing and whatever. And she said, well, all you need to do, and she started, I said, no, you're going to, the wires are going to, and then pop off in it, because I don't see any way to get into it. And that's one thing, I don't have any room. I would like to have, I've got some tools, some meters and things that were sent also for me to review. I would like to have a workbench where I could do a few things. But anyway, what's the other thing? Well, I guess that's okay. Let me repeat again. And they're correct. I've had some people say you talk too slow and you repeat. Yes, I do. I have to repeat, by the way, have you subscribed? I do. I don't hate the people, but there are some YouTubers that you watch their videos, and every time they're telling you, subscribe, okay. I listen to a lot of Twit TV. They have some great shows, and I heard some great podcast or whatever you want to call them. And man, at the end of their show, like they have Windows Weekly, Google Weekly. I don't think they call them that, but it's Windows, Google, Android, or whatever. They have these different shows, and I've learned a lot from watching the videos, and I sometimes listen while I'm doing other stuff instead of watching. But and sometimes they have 3 or 4 people, like for their Windows Weekly. I think it's usually 3 people. And but at the end of the show, then they'll ask, okay, how can they get you by Twitter? Okay, now how can they get you on Facebook? Okay, well, these people go through, and during the show, if you're watching it live, they have right at the, which is fine, lower 1/4 or whatever. They have that information there, but still at the end they go through the whole thing. That's one thing I hate about regular, well, television, CNN, Fox News, all of them. They have, you know, this banner at the bottom. Maybe for my next video I make, I'll have one of those on there. But a lot of times it covers up. You know, they'll be showing something, and it's covering up the. I want to see what's in the lower 1/4 of the screen or whatever. At least, why can't they take it down and just put it up? And why do they have to have it up all the time? I mean, come on, guys. Anyway, I haven't talked about politics, and I'm trying not to. What we need is some way for me to be in this chair here, and there be some things hooked up to me, and when I start talking politics, you all could just click a thing, and I would stop, you know. Need something like that. Of course, I have a pacemaker, and that probably would short circuit it, and then I'd fall over on the floor, and it's like, what happened to Jim? You'd be in the chat room or something, you say, he's probably in the bathroom. No, I didn't even go to the bathroom. Maybe you'd see a hand come up. Maybe I'd be, doing 9, 1, 1 or something like that would pop up. I don't know. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Nope, that's not what I wanted to show. What did I want to do? Wanted to stop this one.